your roof. It's the most important protection against nature for your home or your business. That's why I trust the experts at Exterior Home Solutions.
Exterior Home Solutions 2-minute drill. Let's face it, it's going to be about an 8-minute drill as we unpack Tennessee's National Signing Day comments from Josh Heupel. Obviously likes the class, feels like they added some nice pieces. Let's start with Boo Carter, who is, as we mentioned yesterday on the 2-minute drill, has already started making plays out here in practice.
Yeah, I mean, I think the athletic ability of Boo Carter and Mike Matthews has shown up already, both those. And that's what you expect. That's two of your more highly decorated players coming in this class. Skill guys should be able to show up without pads and, you know, all of those types of things as well. And I think both those guys have shown up pretty quickly here, which is a real positive. And I think that's when you look at this class, those are two guys, they just got done early. That if they were late decisions, then everybody's celebrating, you know, kind of what this class looks like. But I think those are two important pieces to this class who are going to make early impacts for this team.
100%. Coach Heupel really complimentary of the offensive line class. Now, it's unrealistic to think those guys are playing early, but can they take the next 365 days and build towards being redshirt freshmen or true sophomores that factor in what you just said? 25?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're talking about, what, 2 years, 730 days if you're doing your math the right way, something like that, for those guys to have to step in and be a part. Now, that's not to say that the guys that are already here, like the Shams and the Bison Langs, and some of those guys don't have to be factors as well. But where Tennessee's got to be is they've got to have an idea come next November, December of who they truly believe can help them in 25, because that's going to dictate
what they do in the portal.
What you do in the portal, how much money you're going to spend, how many bodies you've got to get. That's what you have to find out with this group, and that's what this group's got to get done over the next year. This group coming in that Josh Heupel's, you know, high on. We got to see where Bennett Warren is. You got to have a true idea where those guys are this time next year.
Yeah, Max Anderson, Gage Ginther, Jesse Perry, right down the line through those offensive linemen. But the two I would point to are the two you brought up, which are Sham and Bison, because they have been here for a year already. You know, how much can they help you next year?
Where's Aiden Bustle and some?
And that's another guy.
There's some bodies there. It's just you've got to have a much clearer idea of who's ready to step in and play for you in 25, because that's going to dictate a lot about what your portal life looks like.
I asked Coach Heupel about trying to balance, you know, when you have some young guys that you really like, balancing bringing in transfers at that spot, because, I mean, that could throw them into a tailspin, you know, when they see all of a sudden, oh, here comes a guy with 2 years of eligibility who's, you know, played already. You know, it's kind of like what comes first, chicken or the egg there. I mean, what were your thoughts?
Well, I mean, he said, you know, there's two sides to that coin, obviously. And I think if you look at the portal, and I think when you start looking at the numbers and do the research on the portal, year two's the year, right? I mean, that first year, guys understand, in a lot of cases, not all cases, but most guys understand, I'm learning, I'm growing, hey, I'm involved in special teams. You get to year two and you don't factor in. At the end of that second year, I think that's where you're seeing a lot of guys jump in the portal. And that's where, as a coaching staff, you have to be critically mindful of balancing that coin, which is why you got to play a lot more bodies, in my opinion.
Well, because kids get frustrated, but then the people behind the kids, 7-on-7 coaches, high school coaches,
I don't see you on TV.
Dads.
I watch you on TV. I never see you. What's going on? Why aren't you playing? You know, and that's the challenge that coaches are dealing with right now in trying to manage all this, because you're trying to put the best team you can put on the field for that upcoming season and for that season you're in, but you're thinking, okay, if I do this, then what does it cost me for the next year team? I mean, it's a challenging act right now for coaches to figure out who to play, when to play, how many do you got to play to keep guys happy and keep roster retention where you want it to be.
I teed up the head coach about the class of 25 in state, and
I thought he delivered.
He delivered.
I thought he hit the fairway. I thought he did. I thought he hit it.
At first, I was like, is he really going to just practice swinging this thing? And then he actually hit it in the fairway. You know, talked about, you know, they like what they see in state in 25, and clearly he's talking about George McIntyre, Rodarius Jackson, Cam Sparks, Ethan Utley, a lot of those in-state kids that Tennessee's already a factor with.
Yeah, and this is a good year. And this is where, I don't say the core of the class, but you've got to build a lot in this class from the state of Tennessee. I think it's really important, not just at the quarterback, but obviously it starts there. But I think when you're looking, you need high school defensive linemen. They're hard to get. Utley's in state and is a quality high school defensive lineman who can go a lot of places in the country. You got to get him to Tennessee. I mean, that's a major priority. Jackson is a kid who's put up tons of yards, big impact guy at the high school level, who's, I think it's going to translate well into college. So those are guys you've got to get done. And I think Josh Heupel was sending a little public message today about, yeah, we got it. We know. We're on all of you guys. And we've had you on campus, so we know exactly who you are.
He is Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price. This has been the Exterior Home Solutions National Signing Day 12-minute drill, everybody.